Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at a really beautiful poem, a powerful tribute to India, all through the lens of poetry appreciation. So, let's dive right in.
Have you ever stopped to think, what is it that makes our country so special? Well, today, we're going to explore a poem that does exactly that. It celebrates everything from India's incredible nature to its culture and its deep spiritual soul.
The poem we're looking at is called Bharat, Our Land, and it's by the amazing poet and freedom fighter Subramania Bharati. Now for him, this was more than just a poem. It was a really proud, devotional tribute that was meant to awaken the spirit of the nation and show why it's so unique.
All right, so the poem kicks off by painting this huge, grand picture of India's landscape and its legacy. Let's break down this first stanza and see how the poet builds this incredible foundation of nature, wisdom, and gold.
The mighty Himavant is ours. There's no equal anywhere on earth. The generous Ganga is ours. Which other river can match her grace? The sacred Upanishads are ours. What scriptures else to name with them? This sunny golden land is ours. She's peerless. Let's praise her. Wow, right away you can just feel that immense pride in his voice. He's not just listing places, he's claiming them as something we all share.
And each of these things is so much more than just a physical object. They're powerful symbols. The mighty Himavant, that's the Himalayas. It stands for this unshakable strength. The generous Ganga, well, that symbolizes life itself, purity. The sacred Upanishads, these are ancient, deep texts that point to our profound knowledge. And of course, the sunny golden land, it just gives you this feeling of richness and prosperity.
Okay, so from the land itself, the poem then shifts its focus to the people. This next part is all about the heroes, the wise sages, and the incredible music that really define India's culture.
He writes, "Gallant warriors have lived here. Many a sage has sanctified this land. The divinest music has been heard here, and here all auspicious things are found." See, this is where the poem becomes really human. It's honoring the bravery of its people, the wisdom of its spiritual leaders. It's almost like the land itself has been blessed by them. This is where that human side of India's greatness just comes alive. Gallant warriors points to a long history of bravery. Many a sage reminds us that this land has been a hub for spiritual wisdom for thousands of years. And the divinest music? Well, that celebrates an unbelievably rich and diverse cultural heritage.
And then the poem wraps up with this. Here, Brahma knowledge has taken root, and the Buddha preached his Dhamma here. Of hoary antiquities bought it. She's peerless, let's praise her. By bringing up Brahma knowledge, which is like the ultimate spiritual truth in Hindu philosophy, and the Buddha's Dhamma, his teachings, the poet is grounding India's identity in these huge contributions to world thought. That final call to praise her feels totally earned, doesn't it?
So the big idea here is that India's identity is really built on this deep, deep foundation of philosophical thought. The wisdom of Brahm knowledge and the teachings of the Buddha, they aren't just little notes in a history book, they're presented as the living, breathing roots of the nation's character. So we've talked about what the poem says, but how does it actually make us feel that pride? Let's kind of lift the hood and look at the specific tools, the poetic devices, that give this poem so much power. One of the big ones he uses is something called personification. It sounds fancy, but the idea is actually super simple. It's when you give human qualities or actions to something that isn't human, like an object or even an idea.
And a perfect example from our poem is when he calls the river Ganga generous. A river can't literally be generous, right? But by using that word, the poet makes us feel its life-giving, nurturing quality in a way that feels so much more personal and real.
And that's just one tool in this toolbox. He also uses alliteration. That's the repetition of sounds, like in sunny golden land, to make it sound musical. He uses powerful imagery, so we can almost see the Himalayas. He repeats the phrase "is ours" over and over to really hammer home that feeling of collective pride. And he asks rhetorical questions like, which other river can match her grace? Not because he wants an answer, but to really drive his point home.
So when we put all these pieces together, the nature, the people, the poetic craft, what is the poem's ultimate message? Let's look at the core themes that are driving this amazing tribute.
At its heart, this poem is really a powerful call to patriotism. But it's not just blind patriotism. It's a love that's rooted in understanding why the nation is so worthy of that love. Through these themes of heritage, culture, and spiritual richness, the poem's real goal is to inspire that same deep pride and connection in all of us. The poem celebrates so many different parts of India, and that makes me wonder, and it's a question for all of us, when you really think about it,
Which part of India's story, its history, its nature, its people, or its art makes you feel the most proud? Something to think about. So students, today we learned that this poem is a beautiful tribute to India, its mighty mountains, sacred rivers, rich culture, and deep spiritual wisdom. It reminds us to feel proud of our country and respect our heritage.
Tell me in the comments, what do you love most about India? I genuinely love to read your answers.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Ace Archive for more such easy and interesting explanations.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep learning and keep growing.